Charlie here. I don't really know what to say. I'm so gutted. I haven't even been on Twitter. It makes me too angry. I just, I just can't believe. Guess how old I was when Tottenham last beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. I was 30 days old, and we've now lost that record. We've now lost 28 years at Bridge without them winning. Um, already. Thanks for getting your comments in, guys. Please get them in your hundreds. But already seen people take Ijabo getting a shout out. Yeah. Um, Already people talking about Conte in or out. I think he's got to go. I really do. I think I really like Conte. I've defended Conte to the hilt this season, but it gets to a point where there's no point in carrying on. There's no point. We're completely flogging a dead horse. Um, we're completely flogging a dead horse in keeping Conte on. We're still in the FA Cup. I would honestly get rid of him today. Because I think as much as I love him and I think he's a great manager, I think we will be losing a great manager, and I think we will regret it. He has made mistakes, and the situation at the club is such that the situation needs to change. But a lot of support for Conte I'm seeing on the comments, which is good. But look, I'd rather get rid of 15 players. I really would. But that can never happen. Honestly, that team that played yesterday, I would keep Kante, and that's it. I would happily never see the rest of them play for Chelsea again. I really would. Victoria Kemp, yes. It was her anniversary yesterday. Say happy anniversary to Rory and Victoria, by the way. And I just think that I really don't know where they go from here. Yeah, I'm well, Victoria. I really don't know where they go from here, because I just think that if I had a clue that the board knew what they were doing, I really don't. I wouldn't be too bothered, but I really don't think they do. I think we're in this completely boom and bust cycle. I think they're completely focused on the new stadium rather than matters on the pitch. I don't know. Rory is there again saying take your top off. He did this on my last live video and it didn't work. It's not going to work now. I think he needs to pipe down. But again, I was just seen someone saying we need a long-term manager. That is not how Chelsea operate. We know that, and we're in this completely boom and bust cycle. And I just don't know how we get out of it, because we are now dangerously close. Well, I say we're dangerously close. We are now not the top tier. We're not going to be in the Champions League next season. We're not competing for the top level players. How they went into last summer and made the. Why didn't you tidy up for going? I'm going to pan the camera around so Rory can't see the mess in my flat. Why they didn't go into this summer and not strengthen? They made the team worse. They got rid of Costa, which I do think was Conte's fault and the board's fault and Costa's fault. They got rid of Costa, brought in Morata, who's been terrible, and they brought in Bakayoko instead of Matic, who again has been terrible. Neither of them have been trusted to play in our biggest game of the season. Rory's a nightmare. I do these live videos, and and he just tries to get me to take my clothes off. People want Sophie. She was live yesterday. I'm sure you've had enough of Sophie. I've had enough. But people saying we should have kept Mitchie. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. He's played brilliantly for Dortmund, but he was poor for Chelsea. And I think, at the time yesterday, I wasn't bothered about not getting in the Champions League at all. I was bothered about losing our record against Tottenham. It is a big thing. It's a huge thing. We do not lose against Tottenham at home, and certainly we don't lose in that manner. I think that is, Charlie's hotter than Sophie. Yes, Victoria, you're absolutely right. We did not lose in that manner. Once Ericsson scored that it was a great strike, but A, he should have been closed down because he does it every weekend. B. Victor Moses should have cleared it in the first place. Once they scored the equaliser, there was only one team winning that, and that is absolutely pathetic. There is no one that has the leadership. There is no one that has, you know, the bollocks to make sure that we're still in the game. No one to make sure that, you know, we can go and get a goal. We look completely beaten, and those are kind of the two things that our season has come down to. It's a lack of leadership and a lack of fight on the pitch and individual mistakes. So many individual mistakes. It is absolutely pathetic. You know, I mean, the defending for that third goal. I mean, I don't know what was going on. Moses should have cleared it for the first goal. I think Fabregas, honestly, I can't see a single game where Fabregas is, you know, a good option. It's completely, you know, having him in the midfield in the Premier League game is completely making me laugh, mate. Shut up. Having him in a Premier League game is a complete waste of time. You know, Conte I thought was our only good player yesterday, and you know Dembele ran that game. You can't. Freddie Davidson's desperate for a reply. Hi Freddie, I hope you're well. Saying thanks Victoria. Are you naked from the waist down again? No, I'm not. As an American fan, who do you think we should leave this summer? So many, mate. Honestly, I would get rid of half of them. I think Eden Hazard, I'm a huge fan of. I think he's one of the more talented players I've seen play for Chelsea, but I think he needs to leave. There is no way that he is on the Messi. Victoria and Rory, the pair of them, they're terrible. There is no way that he is on the Messi, Ronaldo level that people talk about him. He really isn't. It's you know, those players step up in those games. That was our biggest game of the season by a mile. It was against our deadliest rival, and Hazard was absolutely nowhere. I know Morata scored, but he has been an absolute disgrace this season. And after he scored, he was useless. I thought William was okay. I thought Christensen had a poor game. Azpilicueta was okay the first half. Alonso was okay the first half. But it's more to do with... we're getting fucking Tottenham fans on again. It's more to do with the fact that are these players... Do these players know what it means to play for Chelsea? Is there anyone in the dressing room who's telling them what it means to play for Chelsea? What it means to wear that shirt? What it means to dig us out of a hole? You know, we spent the last 15 years digging ourselves out of a hole in the most kind of battled way. We've witnessed some great performances, and there's nothing in this team. There's nothing like that in this team. I would honestly just, if I could, I'd gut the whole thing and start from the drawing board. Chelsea SW6 here. Christensen has been overplayed and fatigued. I agree with that. I think he's made a lot of poor mistakes since the turn of 2018. Geezer called Callum, the Tottenham fan. He can't even spell Callum. His name starts with a K. I would honestly gut this team if I could. I would just get a load of new players in. I would change the management. I don't know who I want as manager. I really don't, because all things well, I would like Conte to be backed, and I'd like him to stay as manager, but it can't happen. I'd honestly get rid of Conte today, because I can't see where it goes from here. Whereas Luiz, I think that's a great point. I want David Luiz playing against Tottenham. I think Christensen's performance was kind of one in the eye for people that always want the youth team to play and all the rest of it. But when you're in these games, take us on a tour of your flat. No, Raw, as you correctly identified, I've not cleaned up, so you're not getting a tour of my flat. Rory's been there; he don't need a tour of my flat. I want David Luiz playing. It comes back to the leadership thing. I think he's one of the only players that has any idea what it needs. It's not my mum's flat; it's my flat. Is the only player who has any idea what it means to play for Chelsea and what it means to be a leader in the team. He has his flaws. Who do you think should be the number one target for next season? I think if Hazard goes to Real Madrid, which I kind of hope he does, and I hope we get the biggest fee possible for him, I'd like to see Isco become central to the team. I'd like to see him play alongside Conte and someone else, and I'd like us to play more that kind of style. I think if we get Luis Enrique, and I'm not saying I want him. In fact, I've heard a lot of people who watch Barcelona every week and has blow a kiss. There you go. Watch Barcelona a hell of a lot. That he wouldn't be the ideal, but you know, I think we need people wanting me to show my flat. Um, I think we do need to change the way we play. We do need to change formation. We need to change up a hell of a lot of the players, and the whole culture of the club needs to change. But that will not happen under the current ownership. I'm not saying I want Abramovich out, but you know, we need football people on that board. We need a proper director of football. We need we need some direction at the club, because if you're going to sack managers every 18 months, what's that pick on the wall? Yes, it is Drogba. There you go. That's Drogba scoring in the Champions League. There you go, and that's the Rolling Stones. And over there, above, can you see above the telly? Oh. Above the telly, that's some nice Chelsea pictures, and that's some record labels. Yeah, we're doing okay. Yeah, so Freddie, I'll just show the flat. Um, we need we need something else. You know, we need some direction at the club. We need something from the top coming down. If we're going to sack managers every 18 months, we need a style to play, because you cannot go on like this. I mean, we were very lucky because we had that core of players: Terry, Lampard, Drogba, Cech, Ashley Cole, Ivanovic. You know, the names roll off the tongue, and that was our continuity. That was our continuity. Yes, we sacked a lot of managers, but those players, that core, that leadership. I mean, every single one of those players were just named as captain in their international team, and there's more besides that. You know, you've got Balak, you've got Shevchenko, you've got Deco. It's that culture of leadership at the club which has been completely eroded over the last couple of years. And, you know, there has to be some continuity, which we don't have anymore. I'm laughing so much. Cheers, Raw. Buy Messi, Brian. I mean, Brian, I'd love to sign Messi, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. How can I want Hazard to go to Real Madrid? Because I think he's done at Chelsea. I mean, yes, I just said, look, I'm a huge fan of him. I think he's brilliant, but he was nowhere yesterday. I think we need to. Yeah, Rory is getting to me. He's a pain in the arse, man. I think he's done at Chelsea. I really do. Not feeling that I'm one bit. It was my mum's lamp. It's quite nice. If not Conte, then who? I really don't know. And more to the point, I don't think Chelsea know. I really don't. I think they were contacting Enrique when we lost against Bournemouth and Leicester. Bournemouth and Watford. Tuchel, people are getting very excited about. But one thing I'll say about Tuchel is that the reason he left Mainz and the reason he left Dortmund was because he fell out with the board, because he didn't have enough control. It's the exact reason that Conte fell out with Chelsea. So I can't really... Callum again, mate. I can't really see it working at Chelsea. I really can't. If he's going to be like that... I mean, Gianluca Vialli, no less, said that Chelsea want a manager who's going to be who's going to be basically a patsy, because, you know, they want him to sit there and not, you know, coach the team, not have say in what players are bought and sold. And that's not Tuchel. That's possibly not Allegri, who I've just seen someone. That's not Simeone, who I've just seen someone mention. And I don't know who it is. I really don't. And this is why... I mean, obviously, I'm more gutted than anything that we lost to Tottenham, really. I mean, that's kind of the main thing for me. But trying to in ahead, that's what I do really worry about for the future, because I don't think they've got a clue what they're doing. I don't think... Look, talking about JT and Lampard managing, and look, I'm not one to say, look, we need to get Zola as manager or whatever. But I honestly do think... I mean, I talked to Rory this morning, and... Get rid of Conte now and just letting Lampard or whoever it is just see it out for the rest of the season. G everyone up a bit. I think it's the move. I really do. And look, I'm sorry I'm not kind of making many coherent points, but I'm really upset. Courtois and Hazard both ain't the level everyone thinks. Charlie Thomas, I certainly agree with Courtois. Jody Morris for manager, that's an interesting shout. He's worked wonders with the youth team. Anyway, I am going to go. Thank you so much for all your comments. I'm too upset. I was too upset to do this. Tour your bedroom. I'm not touring my bedroom. It's where the magic happens, isn't it? It's like cribs. Anyway, I'll see you later. I will be at the West Ham game on Sunday, when hopefully I won't be as upset. Anyway, I'll see you later.